Hey, yes indeed. It is our WWE Summerslam preview show. Wrestling Uncensored starts now. Bong, bong, bong. We are here. I am here. Big Johnny North is in the house. What's up, Big Johnny? How are you? How is everything?
It's pretty hot over here. I don't know about you. It's very hot, but I enjoy the hot weather. It's not too bad. And ironically, SummerSlam is tomorrow, so it's perfect timing for the hottest party in the summer, right?
I think it was the biggest party of the summer, John. That was the tagline that they used to use. Not the hottest party.
It's the hottest now.
It's pretty
it should
hot.
be the hottest right now.
Yeah. I've got my air conditioning going in the studio, you know. We're nice and cool here in the studio. It's nice. Home base, you know, we got a lot of electrical stuff here. We got to keep it cool. Can't be overheating when we're in the studio. You can't see Dave sweat while he's doing the show. You don't want to see me dropping sweat on the desk. We got nice cameras in here. That'll pick it up. You'll be able to see that. No one wants to see that.
Well, I can promise that I won't because it's hot. But
you look sweaty. To be honest, you
I'm
look
very
sweaty.
I'm very sweaty. But you know, people on podcasts don't care too much, so it's all right. It's better if you just listen to this. And you can listen to this. The fact that you think SummerSlam 2024 is going to be good, I'm not so excited for it.
Well, I mean, it's consequential, right? We got a lot of title matches. And that's what I like. I like matches of consequence. I like matches that mean something. What is happening? Oof.
I'm hearing stuff.
Sorry, that was my baseball game I have in front of me. I had to refresh the screen and the mute unmuted. Anyhow, we got big matches and a lot of championships on the line, and something's got to give, you know? Something's got to happen. And SummerSlam traditionally is the second biggest show of the year for the WWE. So I expect them to go big, to do something impressive, to entertain, to go above and beyond. I expect somebody that maybe we haven't seen in a while. Maybe a Roman Reigns. Maybe even the People's Champ, the final boss, The Rock. Saw Cody Rhodes do an interview this week invoking the name of The Rock. Starting to drum up some stuff maybe for next year or maybe for this year. Who knows? Solo Sikoa did say that the WWE Championship is coming back to the Bloodline. Does that mean with Solo in the match, or does that mean in some sort of shenanigans after the match, where perhaps Roman shows up, or The Rock shows up, or, I mean, that's pretty much the list. But one of those guys showing up would be interesting. And beyond that, beyond what we may see at SummerSlam, we will see CM Punk wrestle a match on a big stage against Drew McIntyre in a packed arena. Seth Rollins as the referee. We haven't seen Punk wrestle a singles match since AEW? Who was his last singles match in AEW? Joe at Wembley? 2 years ago?
That's right.
2 years ago. No, a year ago. A year ago.
Oh, a year ago.
A year ago. Yeah, sorry.
A year.
Yeah, they've only done one Wembley show. What am I? I'm like getting ahead of myself. So it was about a year ago. We haven't seen this guy wrestle a singles wrestling match in a year. We saw him in the Rumble in January. That's the last time we saw him actually wrestle in a ring, but that's the Rumble. It's different. This is a one-on-one match. The return match of CM Punk, his first singles match since coming back in the WWE. Drew McIntyre is the guy that hurt him. He leaned into, I'm the guy that hurt CM Punk. I wanted to do it. I hate this guy. And he hurt him for real. He didn't mean to. He even said on Raw this week, he's like, I wasn't even trying. Imagine what I'll do to you at SummerSlam. And Punk's like, you're stupid. And I was like, ooh, called him stupid. Good one. But that match, to me, John, that's massive. The Punker at SummerSlam. Like, Punk wrestling a singles match at SummerSlam. Whatever happens, It's a big deal. Beyond that, we've got some cool matches and some things that could happen and whatever. Kind of typical WWE stuff. But CM Punk, I mean, that's special. We have not seen that. We haven't seen him wrestle a singles match in a year, and that was in another company against Samoa Joe. And he won, right? He beat Joe on the way out?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Under the Real World Championship.
Yes. Yes. Defending it again against Drew McIntyre tomorrow.
I mean, it's definitely the match that's most intriguing on SummerSlam. But I don't know about you. I just felt this week's Raw, like it started with them, right? If I'm not mistaken, that promo.
Mm-hmm.
Something was off with that. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't great. I was like, what happened here? Something went wrong. Like maybe the crowd just wasn't into it or whatever, but something just seemed off about the whole thing.
I think it was Seth Rollins.
Maybe.
I mean, Seth Rollins goes out there and goes, the only rule in this match, Seth is the referee, right?
Yeah.
And Drew is like dead serious doing like a Drew McIntyre version of CM Punk. CM Punk is just himself and doing what he does. And Seth Rollins is just the over-the-top, ridiculous character that he kind of comes in and out of. He doesn't even kind of stick to it. Sometimes he's Kobe Lopez. Sometimes he's the visionary. You know, it's like, what? Who are you exactly? It's not clear. The fans like singing the song, so he's using that as a crutch big time. Feels like a cheap pop at this point. But he's ridiculous. And he goes, the only rule in this match is you have to listen to me. Disqualifications? Referee's discretion. If I do a count out, maybe it's 10 seconds, maybe it's 20 seconds, maybe it's 1,000,000. And you go, okay. He's like, when I feel like it, I'll count to 3. You're only allowed to give up when I say you're allowed to tap out. And you go, well, so what? What are the rules to this match? How are Punk and Drew supposed to take that? How is Adam Pearce, who's supposedly, in charge of Raw, supposed to say, yeah, that seems about right for my official of this huge match that we're having at SummerSlam? How does that make any sense? I think that's what turned you off of the match, John, because I was watching this promo thinking, well, what? What do you mean? So are there rules? What are the rules? It seems like Seth is just it's going to be all about Seth being the referee and messing with them and not. It doesn't make sense. It didn't make any sense. And you set up this match that works. Punk, Drew works. And it's like Punk said. Having Seth in this match, he said it right to Seth's face, which I thought was crazy. He goes, having you referee this match is like putting a hat on a hat. And he's like, you probably like that given your fashion sense. But what he's saying there, when what he's actually saying is like, you in this match as the referee is unnecessary. We have enough. We could draw money. Punk Drew with a regular ref. Seth doesn't have to be involved. Putting a hat on a hat. Once you're wearing a hat, brother, you don't need to wear another hat. You can only wear one hat at a time, which is what CM Punk was trying to tell us. And it's plain to see when analyzing this match that he is 100% correct, as he is about a lot of things in professional wrestling. I think the Drew McIntyre CM Punk match should not have been a special guest referee match. I think it should have been CM Punk's specialty, the backstage brawl. That's the match type that I think he excels in. Might have got him fired from WWE, but my God, he is undefeated. Choked Drew a little bit, and but this was not a good promo. I thought Punk did very well, and when Seth is saying this stuff, like when Seth goes to Punk, you tap out when I say you can tap out, and Punk's like laughing. He's just laughing in his face because he's like, okay, this is ridiculous. What you're saying is ridiculous. So if I'm unconscious because the guy choked me out, you're just going to let him kill me in the ring? This is This is the stipulation. This is how it's going to work. He's laughing not at Seth Rollins and his promo. He's laughing at how ridiculous Seth Rollins is sounding when he's saying this stuff. He sounds absurd. And if you're a pro wrestler, as Seth Rollins is, he should know that how dumb that sounds. Tap out when I say tap out. I'll count when I feel like it. Well, okay. Well, what are the rules to the match then? What are we to expect? And that, I think, takes some of the buzz out of the match, because you go, well, we're not going to get Drew Punk. We're going to get some sort of mess with Seth and it's not going to be straight down the middle. It's not going to be a wrestling match. It'll be a whole thing. It's too bad.
Well, I don't know about you. I've kind of changed the way I look at this match. I had Drew winning this. Now, because of all the shenanigans probably involved, I think Punk's going to win.
Maybe. I'm really kind of torn on how it's going to go. I think Punk probably wins. Not because of, I always thought Punk would win this match. Not because of shenanigans, not because of Seth, not because of anything, but because of the fact that it's Punk's first match back. You know? He's got to win.
Yeah, he screwed over Drew so much. I feel like they got to give Drew something. But I think it's just, let's screw over Drew some more because we have Seth involved. So that kind of cancels it out that Drew has to get a win.
Yeah. I think there's a part of what Punk said that was very correct to Drew McIntyre. The best thing that ever happened to your career was hurting CM Punk, and the worst thing that ever happened to your career was hurting CM Punk. Because I think it has led to this tremendous run for Drew McIntyre, but also it's going to lead to him losing again and just kind of being shuffled further down the pack because it's going to be about other people. It's going to be less about Drew McIntyre. The Monday Night Raw show is going to be less about him and more about Punk and more about Seth and more about Gunther and more about Damian Priest going forward and more about Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio going forward than it is about Drew McIntyre. That's what it looks like to me. It seems like Punk wins, and then maybe, Drew moves on to something else. And then we move on to Punk and Seth.
Or Seth, Drew, that's possible too. I mean, it can go many different ways.
I would build Punk up at this point to face Gunther at WrestleMania for the belt.
Seems so far away, though.
Yeah, but you want to give Gunther a decent run.
That's why you should face Punk sooner.
I think if you delay it to Mania, then you believe Punk could win. And maybe he does. Because, quite frankly, if he can go in the ring and he's going on the microphone, he's the best. Cody Rhodes can go on SmackDown tonight and say, hey, I'm at the top of the WWE and I'm sitting on the throne that I once broke. And I go, Welcome. I go, there are other guys, Cody, that are pretty damn good in the WWE, and you need to be aware of what's going on in the whole company. Because CM Punk at his best, CM Punk healthy, I don't think there's anybody in WWE full-time that's touching him. So why not build him to WrestleMania? Why not build him to a world title match against Gunther that you could build as an undefeatable champion, beating Damian Priest, beating everybody else on Raw in the lead up to a big match against Punk at Mania? Main event, night one. Give Punk a main event. I think it's right. I think it's what you should do. I know people don't like CM Punk and he's a controversial character still, but you got to go with the talent. You got to go with the money. You got to go with who's over.
I'm not going to disagree. I'd like to see Punk in the main event, but this is his first match back. Let's see how it goes. And closer to Mania, let's see how he's feeling here, too. One match at a time, I think. I think we're jumping ahead too far to WrestleMania.
I'm just saying, if he can stay healthy, what an incredible talent that they have. If he's not healthy, right? Maybe not.
I hope so. Like, I like to see it. I think it's better with Punk in WWE than not, right?
Of course. And I thought the promo on Raw was okay. You know, I thought Punk said some really good stuff. He's like, Drew.
I liked Punk, yeah.
You know, Drew was like, "What are you gonna do? I'm 6'5", 280 pounds, whatever, da da da." And Punk's like, "I'm not as tall as you. I'm not as big as you. You know, but you're big and tall, and the reason that you haven't gotten anywhere is because you're stupid." And I was like, damn. That was just mean, you know? Just felt mean from CM Punk, which I like. It's supposed to feel mean. It's supposed to hurt a little bit. Because then the audience goes, ooh. Then a guy like me sitting at home is watching this going, whoa. Whoa. Because there's an element of truth there. Because when you hear Drew talk, you go, you're not operating on the same level as CM Punk. Like, no disrespect to the man. I wouldn't want to disrespect him. He's ginormous. But his promos have been, you know, run of his life right now. But, again, it seems like he's just doing a CM Punk-style Drew McIntyre character, which works for him. It's worked. He's found something. I'm interested in the match. I think Punk goes over. I think there's lots of shenanigans with Seth. I don't think it main events. I think it maybe even opens. Right?
I would say middle of the card. I mean, how many matches are there? Like 8, 7?
7.
I would say 4 or 5.
Right in the middle?
Oh, yeah. I think that's the best way to put it, because build it up. Like, you want to see that match. I think first match, just make it like LA against like Logan Paul, I think.
I don't think that's a good opener. I think you open with Punk and Drew. I really do.
Wow.
You got to get the crowd super hot.
Will they get any hotter, though? I question that.
I mean, you got Cody and Solo. That's a big-time match. That's a big match, John. I don't know why you're not super excited about it.
Why am I not excited by Solo and Cody? Like,
yeah,
we can get into that. Sure, no problem. Like,
why? I'm hyped.
Huge problem.
Because it could go to Solo. There's bloodline story that it's all kind of building to this match. You know? A lot of this is, you know, since WrestleMania, Roman Reigns' name being invoked, Paul Heyman getting attacked, haven't seen him since, haven't seen Roman since WrestleMania when he lost this belt to Cody. Here comes Solo saying, I'm the new tribal chief, look at my new bloodline, and I'm going to right all the wrongs and prove to everybody that I'm the man by taking the title back for my family, beating Cody, showing Roman what's up, showing The Rock and everybody what's up, because I'm Solo, by God, Sokoa. And I thought, you know, he's not saying it exactly that way, but you know how he says it, and he does it well. And I think the build to this match has been great. The story has been great. And Antoinette is there. She says, I want Roman. Antoinette gifting another membership on a Friday night. Thank you, Antoinette. Welcome to the new member, Radiant Void. But, you know, this is big, man. This is big. This is Cody defending the belt in a match where he could conceivably lose. For the first time, a match, Cody's defending the belt on this title run where you think there's a shot, something might happen. The other ones that we've seen Cody in, you go, come on, not till Roman comes back, not till whatever. But this is a time, too, where you go, ooh, Roman might come back. Roman might come back tomorrow night. I don't think that you think he's going to come back, but you got to recognize it's a possibility, right? And why wouldn't he come back here? This match kind of calls for a Roman Reigns appearance. Little revenge from the big dog, head of the table.
What happened the last couple of weeks? I've been saying Roman should come back at SummerSlam. You said he shouldn't come back at SummerSlam. Like,
I
what
thought
changed?
they might delay it just to kind of, because they're giving us so much at SummerSlam, but, it's a big show. Am I the one saying that Roman shouldn't come back? Why am I saying he shouldn't come back? I feel like at this point, it calls for it, and I would be, like, I'm not sure he's going to come back. I'm kind of 50-50 on the fence whether or not they're going to pull the trigger on a Roman Reigns comeback here, but if it was ever going to happen, in the next month or so, you would think SummerSlam would be a good time to do it. And if he gets involved in the match, how does he get involved? What happens,
Well, it's now they changed the stipulation, right? So he can get involved however he wants to. It's fine. Like, I expect something like that to happen. I mean, we saw at WrestleMania, right? Just tons of run-ins. He's going to be a run-in. I'm expecting that. I feel like it has to deliver because we've been building towards that. But in no way do I ever believe Cody's losing the Solo. And this is a huge problem with me caring about the match. It's like, I feel it's very obvious Cody's winning this one.
I mean, probably, but I wouldn't say very obvious. Because, look what happened tonight, John. We got new tag team champions. This bloodline is on fire. Jacob Fatu and Tommy Tonga beat the DIY to become the new WWE Tag Team Champions in the main event of Smackdown. Fatu's finishing sequence is unbelievable. That pop-up Samoan drop that he follows up with the jump-up moonsault, it's fantastic. Right?
Yeah. Because AJ just became a member again. I don't think you really like that too much.
I want to ban AJ from the chat, to be quite honest. But Angelo gifted a membership, and AJ gets one for some reason. I don't know why. He shouldn't be a member. He should be banned. AJ is the worst. Angelo Catagones, thank you, though. We love you, Angelo. And Antoinette as well. Jason Pete in the chat. I'm seeing some members. Jimmy James. Over at join.ringsidereport.net. Join.ringsidereport.net is where you go to support the channel. Drop a super chat. Franco316, Ryan Katz, CSL Lorne in the chat as well. What's up, guys? Thank you for joining us here on a Friday. Antoinette dropping another gifted membership to Kano101. Welcome, Kano101. Big day. Big day on the Ringside Report Network. Went to jiu-jitsu this morning with Freddie. Had a day off work. Went to jiu-jitsu, John. Feeling good. Feeling strong. Freddie was there. No AJ, of course.
Well, they were both absent last night, though. You can say what you want about Fred, but he wasn't there last night, too.
Yeah. No Fred last night, no AJ last night. They're really leaving me on my own. It's pretty disappointing. 2 weeks in a row they leave me solo. Like, how could they do this to me? It was a big card, too. They're leaving me to preview UFC 304 and UFC Abu Dhabi back-to-back weeks. Big weeks in the UFC, busy stuff, and they just leave me on my own. At least Fred shows up for jiu-jitsu. AJ, can't say the same about him.
Well, I'm sure he'll talk all about it next week, right? He'll explain what happened, where he's been on his vacation. We kind of talked about it last time, right?
If I allow it. If I allow it, brother. We'll see.
Well, that'll be fun next Thursday. Ringside Report.
Yeah, that'll happen. So, I think Solo loses, probably. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga won the tag team titles tonight from DIY. I was pretty happy about it. I like that Johnny Gargano cuts his promo like, these are my people. We're in Cleveland. This is my family. I'm going to do this. I saw my first wrestling show here. And then he loses. He kisses his kid and his wife before he goes to the ring. You see all this, and he goes, loses. And he's the one that takes the fall, flat on his back, looking at the lights. Interference, of course, from Solo and Tongaloa. But nevertheless, at the end of the night, it was Jacob Fatu hitting his finish, 1-2-3 on Johnny Gargano. Take the tag team titles away from DIY. Short title run for DIY. And new tag team champions Jacob Fatu and Tommy Tonga. I really like Jacob Fatu. I've seen a lot of Tama Tonga in the past and Tonga Loa and New Japan. Like, they're solid. They're really good. But Jacob Fatu, I didn't watch a ton of MLW where he was before. And, man, I've seen highlights and everything. But watching him on a regular basis now in WWE, he's very good. He is a super talented wrestler. And watching him more and more is it's exciting because, you know, he's just starting out. And you go, wow, man, this guy already tag team champion. They clearly see something in him. They've got something with Jacob Fatu. So it's pretty exciting to see what this guy is so far and where the WWE might take him. So he's a star. He's a definite star. I was happy that those guys won the tag team titles, and it leads me to think that maybe next week on SmackDown we see Solo with the WWE title and those guys tag team champions and the bloodline is taken over again. And then that's when Roman comes back and he looks for revenge.
I mean, it's an idea. And again, anything can happen in wrestling. It's impossible. I just highly doubt it. I feel like this is to give the bloodline something because they're not going to win at SummerSlam. So at least they got their moment here. And I feel like we knew this was going to happen. We knew DIY only won the titles because they were transitioning it to the bloodline. Because you could tell they were building up. I'm just surprised they gave it to Jacob Fatu because it looked like, I think Tonga Loa was going to be in the group, right? Like he was going to be in the tag team, but he wasn't.
He got hurt.
Did he get hurt?
I think so.
I think they just wanted Jacob Fatu. I feel like he pushed it because like he's the more impressive of all of them, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But I think Tonga Loa actually got hurt. I think something happened to his eye for real. I'm not sure.
Well, if he's really hurt, I mean, it just feels like this is what should have happened in the first place because like he's the one that really makes the bloodline stand out. Jacob Fatu, like what he can do. Like he's an amazing athlete for his size. What he can pull off. The only thing I felt the finish was like it was kind of overkill. Like he gave him like a super kick, then he like moonsaulted onto him, then he gave him like a big DDT. Like it's like you have to hit him with everything, like one shot, like for one pin. Like we see that in AEW a lot,
yeah.
And like we complain about that. Like I'm gonna complain here too about it. It's like did that have to be overkill?
I mean, it's kind of a Japanese style finish, and he's working the indies and stuff, and that's what they do. They pile on to finish you off. It does make sense. If you're going to try and put somebody away, you hit him with 4 or 5 moves and you go, that's it.
Sure, but it's a tag match. I mean, it kind of buried everyone else who was in a tag match. Like, oh, they're still dead after all this stuff that just happened for like 5 minutes practically. Like, it felt like it anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just had Bianca and Jade's tag match where Jade just kind of disappeared for a while and Bianca was just beating up Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Yeah, I felt like they didn't make a change there because they knew there was a change later in the show, so they didn't want to overdo it, I think.
Yeah. But Bianca spent a good chunk of that match in the ring by herself without Jade. Jade just kind of, I don't know, bumped away. And then Bianca was just beating up both of them on her own for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
The referee wasn't trying to get the other one out of the ring. The Fire and Dawn never really got it together. It was just Bianca whooping their ass. 2-on-1, no problem. Bianca just crushing them. It was odd. It's not something you see often.
Well, it's like LOD. That's what it felt like. It felt like LOD wrestling again when they wrestle. So to me, it's fine.
Are you comparing Bianca and Jade to the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors?
I mean, look at them compared to the rest of their tag teams. I think it's a fair comparison. They kind of just like push people around like they're nothing. They kind of started the match like that too, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, there are some similarities. They don't look like anybody else on the roster. Like they're more jacked and, it's like LOD was. Yep. Okay, so you think we're breaking down SummerSlam here. We're in the SummerSlam preview. We both picked CM Punk to beat Drew McIntyre, and we're both taking Cody Rhodes to beat Solo Sikoa. But it's a Bloodline Rules match, man. You think Cody's going to get out of another Bloodline Rules match? I'm
100%.
I'm thinking shenanigans, man. Although, here's the thing. I think there's going to be other title changes, so probably not here.
Okay.
But, damn, man. Cody won the Bloodline Rules match at WrestleMania. He's going to win another one here. And how does he win? Do, I guess, Kevin and Randy, they come out and they help him?
That'll be some of the run-ins, yeah.
Kevin, Randy, Roman. Because there's
That's what I'm thinking.
3 guys to help Solo, so you get 3 guys to help Cody. And in the end, it's Roman that takes Solo out and helps Cody. But he doesn't do it to help Cody. He does it because he hates Solo. Right? Uh-oh. Did Johnny just freeze on me? Or did I freeze on Johnny? What just happened? Ah, jeez. What is happening here? Johnny, did I just freeze out on you? Johnny.
I think I can hear you now.
Okay, Johnny's back. We're good. We're good. Refresh if something happened. Yeah. So I think Roman comes out, helps Cody win. I think that's the finish because Cody needs somebody. Cody needs something. He can't go out in this match 4-on-1, no rules, and actually win without some backup. So I think Randy, Kevin, Roman.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a surprise. I mean, the Hardy Boys showed up, right, backstage, or they talked to WWE, so that'd be nice if that happened, but it'd be like The Undertaker, right? Put the Hardys in instead. But, I mean, that's all you need, really, is just Kevin, Randy, and Roman. That's enough for the wild run-ins that we get like WrestleMania did.
Yep. I think that's how we close the show, too. I think that's how it closes. That'll be the last match we see. How about Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker? Intercontinental Championship on the line. This is another big match. This is a rematch. Braun getting another shot here. Is this where he takes it?
I'll say yes.
You said yes last time, too, though.
I know. Eventually, I pick against Sammy. Eventually, he's going to lose. Though I'd like him to keep it. And I'd be happy if he does. I'm not usually happy when he wins, but I feel like they're going to give it to Braun finally this time.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, they're going to, because they're giving him another shot. Like, how many shots do you get against Sammy before, you know? I think Sammy won in Toronto at Money in the Bank, and, you know, they'll be 1-1, and maybe we'll have a rematch at the next pay-per-view. But I think Braun Breaker's going to win the Intercontinental title here. Sami Zayn beat Dominic Mysterio by disqualification this week on Raw when Carlito and JD McDonuts interfered. Jey Uso came out and made the save and did a dive on the Judgment Day. But then Braun Breaker showed up, and he attacked Sami from behind. But Sami didn't just take a beating. Sami fought back and set up Braun for his finish, and then Braun had to bail and, like, run away. So it's not like the show before the SummerSlam, Braun, like, beat up Sami, left him laying, and looked all strong. It was like, oh, Sami kind of fought back. So I think that's a sign of, oh, Sami didn't look so bad here. He's gonna drop the belt at SummerSlam. But I could also see Sami retaining. Like, this is one of those matches where I think they could go either way with it. I think a lot of these matches they could go either way. But this one especially, I'm going with Braun Breaker to be new Intercontinental Champion, though. I like Braun Breaker. I think there's a ton of potential with him. Why not here and now? Seems like a good time. Sami Zayn, they'll have a good match. And it's a SummerSlam, you know? It's a big show. You want to crown some new guys. You want to show the world, you know, who your guys are, who the future is. I think Braun Breaker is one of those guys. New Intercontinental Champion. Works for me.
You also got to wonder, too, like, what else can you do with Sami as the IC champion? I think him going after Gunther as the World Heavyweight Champion that's far more intriguing because he beat Gunther before in the past, so you think he could beat him again. But I think having Sammy challenge for the world heavyweight, I think that's the time to do it.
I agree. I think Sammy and Gunther would be very good. Sammy dropping the Intercontinental title wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. He could move up to the main event and do a lot there with Gunther. I think there's a lot Sammy could do with a lot of people. He doesn't really need the Intercontinental title. I think he'll still be a major player on Raw going forward, but I think he'll continue with Braun Breaker for the foreseeable future, even after SummerSlam, because they'll be 1-1 there, you know? I don't think Sammy goes directly to Gunther, but I think down the road, you're right. It would make sense.
Well, there's a long road until like the next big show. Like I would think maybe Survivor Series in Vancouver. That'd be a good time to give Sammy the shot against Gunther.
Mm-hmm. Maybe even the Rumble, but Survivor Series would make sense in Canada. How about this? Damian Priest and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I think it's pretty obvious. We've felt this for a while. Gunther winning the title.
Yep. The most professional wrestler on the WWE's roster. The ring general, Gunther.
Solid main event this week. Him and Finn Balor, I would say.
Solid
probably
promo, too.
Best stuff you saw on Raw this week, I think, without question.
He's our champion, Sean.
You know, Priest had a good run. It was a good little attempt they had with them. And, like, I think it served its purpose. And I think Judgment Day is going to break apart. I think this is the fall of Judgment Day, probably at SummerSlam. And
Maybe.
this will help with it, I think.
But Gunther, as the champion of Raw, as the World Heavyweight Champion, when he says he's going to restore honor and dignity to Raw, to the World Championship, I believe him. He is a guy that no one can see through. He is a guy that you look at and you go, that is a professional wrestler right there. That is a legit dude. You wouldn't want to mess with him. He's big. He's strong. He looks mean as hell. He's very well spoken. He is an excellent in-ring technician. He is a very well-rounded professional wrestler. He can bump. He can move. He can fly if he needs to, but he doesn't need to. He hits hard. He can take a beating. He's very smooth. He is a guy that any professional wrestling company would be lucky to have as their number one, as their ace, as their world champion. And the WWE happens to have been lucky enough to sign this guy. He is one of the best in the world today, and him at the top of Raw is going to look so good. Few better than Gunther. Few better. If any.
PLE after. Like he's going to be wrestling. It's Germany, right? I think.
I believe so, yes.
That's going to be big for him. His first big defense. Probably against Priest, I imagine. A rematch.
I think Priest in the rematch makes a lot of sense. Priest should get a rematch. I think Germany makes sense. But I'm just excited that we're finally at this point where Gunther is the champion, where Gunther is going to be the champion, where Gunther is going to be the top guy on Raw, taking on all comers, because everything he does is excellent. He's a guy that could wrestle in any era of professional wrestling and be a top guy. He carries himself like a champion. He wrestles like a champion. He speaks like a champion. This is a classic wrestling champion that we're dealing with here in Gunther. Am I wrong? You know what I mean? Like, he is so excellent, man. It's so good to see this guy finally ascending to the top of the WWE, because From day one, you look at this guy and you go, yup, he is the man. But there's Antoinette who says, I don't like him, does nothing for me. I think she's talking about Gunther. I don't know.
Well,
I love Gunther. I think he is incredible.
He's able to upset a lot of people, though, regardless. I mean, I think wrestling fans like him, but then some people don't like the arrogance. And he is quite arrogant, so there's that.
Well, it's a character. He's a heel.
Well, some people like to buy into that, so that's fine, because it's what he's supposed to do, right? He's doing his job.
Yes. He's supposed to piss you off, and he does a great job of doing it. He is, he's great, and I can't wait to see his crowning moment. He deserves it. So good. I just love seeing a guy like that on top of the WWE, because it's just so rare that you get a guy like this that can be just respected across the board. You know? He's just so respectable.
You say on top. I mean, he is the number 2 champion. The Raw champion is not the true world champion. I mean, Cody is the true champion.
But, I mean, we're going to see some of these big shows, and you go, well, who had the better match? You're going to go, who's more impressive? Who had the better promo? Who's looking more like a world champion? And over time, you know, I think Gunther can make the World Heavyweight Championship into the main belt, because he's that type of champion. The belt doesn't, make you. It's the man that makes the belt. The champion that makes the championship. And, come on, John. If Gunther's World Heavyweight Champion and The Miz is WWE Champion, who's the real champion? You know what I mean? I'm not saying Cody's The Miz. I'm just saying, in comparison, Gunther and Cody, who are you picking? Who would you rather see?
I know.
If you have a choice, SmackDown's here, you get to see Cody, and Raw's here, you get to see Gunther, Gunther's pretty good. Johnny? Did I lose Johnny? Can you hear me?
I think I froze on you again there for a second.
Okay.
Did you ask me who I picked?
Yeah, who would you pick? Cody or Gunther? Is he freezing on me again? Oh, no. Is Johnny having internet issues again? It's always at this time of night. Is this me now? I think it's me. Johnny, I think it might have been me. I think it's my internet that's crapping out at this time of night. What is happening? Oh, I think it's me. I think we might be back. But I've lost Johnny. I think I'm back. Yeah, I am back. Johnny, come back! Good God almighty. We're having internet issues tonight, man. What's happening? Johnny will be back in a second. SummerSlam going down tomorrow night. I'll be here with you right after SummerSlam. We'll recap all the action, give you our match of the night, our score on 10, tell you what happened at WWE's SummerSlam. Still lots more to come here tonight on the show. We've both got Gunther over Damian Priest. Both got Braun Breaker winning the Intercontinental Championship. CM Punk over Drew McIntyre. And Cody Rhodes, with help from the real Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, to beat Solo Sikoa in a Bloodline Rules match and retain the undisputed WWE Championship. We also have yet to preview Logan Paul versus LA Knight, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, and Bayley versus Nia Jax. And we do have Johnny back now. Johnny, Bayley versus Nia Jax, Women's Championship on the line. I think Bayley retains this one. We can't have too many title changes on this show. I don't think Nia wins. I don't think Tiffy Time cashes in either. She just got a new Money in the Bank briefcase. You see that? Nia gave her a custom-made pink case.
I saw that, and I kind of agree with you because we didn't see anything with them. And we had like a video package with Bailey and Nia, so I don't think the importance is here for the title change. So I don't think Nia wins. Maybe there might be a cash-in. I wouldn't be surprised that at least there's an attempt for it, I think.
I think there'll be an attempt, but it won't actually go down. And Bailey will walk away from SummerSlam still WWE Women's Champion. I don't have super high hopes for the match. You know, it is what it is. I thought the promo was good, though. Bailey and Nia, the video package tonight on SmackDown. I enjoyed that. But I think Bailey will retain. I also think Liv Morgan is going to retain the Women's World Championship and beat Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I because of Dominic, I think. I think Dominic's going to turn on Rhea. And that's what's going to happen. Again, the fall of Judgment Day.
Wow.
It's going to happen at SummerSlam.
Dom will turn on Rhea. Truly dirty.
Right.
Wow.
Well, doesn't it make sense, though? Like, he's a heel, and Liv's a heel, and Rhea's the face. So, it makes sense.
It does. That would be quite a turn. That would be quite a turn. I think we see that. I think you're right. I think we see that go down. And I think it's all been kind of leading to this. And I think we see Liv get help from Dominic. And Rhea does not win her comeback match. Maybe she beats Liv for the belt down the road, but not here.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rhea will get the title eventually, but this is a long build towards that happening. And again, this is just to help with the fall of Judgment Day. And this might be a bit of a process, too, because it'll be a bit more of a story because Priest will get another shot, right? And I think this will all tie in to the summer of Judgment Day falling apart.
Yep. How does it all shake out? Does Finn stay with Carlito and JD, or
with Dominic too? Maybe I could see that. Like maybe they could have like a new Judgment Day without. Mainly, it's just Priest and Rhea. I think are getting dumped.
Does Liv then join Judgment Day?
Quite like, they invested so much into Judgment Day. Why not? I mean, we have a new bloodline. Why can't we have a new Judgment Day?
Yeah, just slightly altered. Get rid of Rhea and Priest, and then you bring in Liv Morgan instead. And you have Dominic, Finn, JD, and Carlito. Make Carlito an official member. Is he official?
It's just funny. Not yet. He's just like a tag-on kind of thing. But it's funny. They get rid of all the original members and all the new members. Kind of like Bloodline, too.
I enjoyed seeing Carlito wrestle a one-on-one match against Jey Uso on Raw this week. It was like, hey, look, it's Carlito. He still wrestles. He barely wrestles in WWE these days, but he wrestled this week. It was good.
Thought it was okay. Again, I thought Raw, like, for the most part, a lot of the matches, it just felt like, well, this feels like beginning wrestling. Maybe we started with the Creed brothers, right, against
Otis and Tozawa. Yeah.
Like, okay, it was just, beginning wrestling. That's fine. And they got a bit more advanced. We got to Carlito wrestling. That was nice. But again, I feel Carlito, I don't know if it's the fact that he's a little rusty or it just feels like he's not completely trying. Like, we've seen Carlito pull off some amazing, spectacular maneuvers. And now it's like he's not really done much of anything now. And I get it. He's a heel. Doesn't want to make stuff look too fancy. But I just feel like he's not into it when he wrestles.
Maybe he's playing it safe. He's older.
But he does have his shoulder always taped up, too. So maybe that might play a factor into it, too. He might be holding back an injury.
Yeah. Maybe there's a reason why he hasn't wrestled a lot. Maybe he's banged up.
That's very possible.
Okay, so we both think Liv is going to beat Rhea Ripley. Have we disagreed on anything here, John?
No, I thought we were going to disagree on the Punk McIntyre thing, but after that promo, I was like, no, I got to go with Punk now.
Yeah.
So far, no. But we got 2 matches left, right?
Logan Paul and LA Knight, and that's it. We've done everything else.
Wow.
right?
Okay, one
We've
match
got
left. Well, I think
we
we
both
might
have Gunther
disagree
over
here.
Priest, Bailey over Nia, Liv over Rhea, Cody over Solo, Braun over Sammy, and Punk over Drew. The only one we have left is Logan Paul defending the U.S. title against LA Knight. LA Knight, who stole Logan Paul's prime truck tonight on SmackDown, and Logan Paul was really upset, and he ran after it, and then as LA Knight is driving away, Logan Paul goes, "That's a crime." And I go, "Yeah, why don't you call the cops? I mean, why are you so mad? I mean, you know who did it. You know the truck. It's your truck. Just call the cops and have LA Knight arrested, and then you don't have to defend your title tomorrow night."
There's video evidence of it happening on national television.
Why would you say that's a crime, Logan Paul? Because when you say that, you kind of make everybody go, yeah, so why don't you do something about it? Why wouldn't you just call the cops? And because it is true, it is a crime. He stole the guy's property. But, you know, it's wrestling, so you just go, oh, hopefully I win it back in the match we have tomorrow. Like, what? Hopefully he brings that truck back to SummerSlam. I bet he will. Maybe he'll even drive to the ring in it and slam me on it, or you know what I mean? Like,
right.
When you kind of keep that world wrestling, it's like, oh, he drove away in a truck, ha ha ha. But then when you go, that's a crime, then it makes the audience check in and go, yeah, wait a second. Wait a minute here, buddy. Shouldn't you call the cops then? So I thought that was just funny. The way Logan said it, too. That's a crime. Come on. I was like, yeah, it's true. It's almost like he was saying, like, I can't believe that I have to operate in this world of WWE where guys can just steal my truck. Like, that's a crime. But obviously I have to deal with it because it's pro wrestling. It was funny. Not as funny, though, as when LA Knight, so Logan Paul's in the ring, he's honored by some people, or he's pretending to be honored by people. Man, Logan Paul is from Cleveland. They hated him. They booed the hell out of that man. They did not like Logan Paul. They liked Johnny Gargano. They hated Logan Paul. He's a heel everywhere, even in his hometown. I was surprised by that. I thought the people might like him. They did not like him.
Hey, he's a hateable person.
I guess. AJ loves him, but, you know, AJ likes a lot of detestable people. Most of AJ's favorite people are extremely detestable, like Logan Paul. He's a detestable human being. LA Knight came out and said we're 24 hours from Logan losing the U.S. title. And then he's like, I got another banner for you, Logan. I'm going to go backstage and get it. And then LA runs into Pretty Deadly, who are just there. And he's like, have you seen a banner? And they're like, no, but we have seen this poster, and we'd like to offer you a preview from Pretty Deadly, the musical. And then they start singing, and LA Knight walks away. But I want to see Pretty Deadly, the musical. I want to hear that song. I want to know more about this. Do these guys have a YouTube channel? What's going on with Pretty Deadly? I need more Pretty Deadly in my life. There is not enough of them on SmackDown. They should be tag team champions. Sneak peek, Pretty Deadly the musical. I need to see the whole musical. These guys are magnificent. And when they did it's cats meets something, and then they both did the... It was perfectly in sync. Like, it's fantastic. These guys are magical. And everybody now wants to see Pretty Deadly the musical. Everybody's excited. Look at these guys. Who wouldn't want to see this? Yes, boy! We are so pretty. We're pretty deadly. On and on, on and on. We go on and on, on and on. Man, these guys are the best. The best, Johnny. God, I love Pretty Deadly. Not enough of them on TV. Like, nowhere near enough of these guys on my TV. I was watching SmackDown with my son. These guys showed up on the screen. We popped. We start laughing when they do their little bit. It was so funny. So funny. You didn't enjoy that? Yes, boy!
I mean, they're pretty much the modern day bushwhackers now. I think they're a
They're
nice
funnier.
little skit, maybe to some, possibly. They have their little moments, and that's it. And they get their reactions with their little group of fans. It's good for them. And good for you, man. Like that, you enjoy it. I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, maybe possibly.
Uh-oh. Did we blank out again with Johnny? God damn, is that me now or Johnny? I think that's just Johnny. What is happening tonight, brother? That wasn't me this time. That was Johnny. AJ, I'm sure, is going to blame it on me. He always does. But I think we just lost Johnny now. He was going to go about how it's nice for me that I have Pretty Deadly in my life, but they're not going anywhere, and they're never going to be anything, and they'll never be tag team champions, and I should just give up on the dream of seeing more Pretty Deadly on my TV. And I know what Johnny was going to say, because Johnny likes to kill my dreams. But that's okay. One day, Pretty Deadly, they will be on top of the WWE Tag Team division. And Johnny North, he will know that I'm thrilled about it, because they are the best. Most entertaining tag team in all of WWE. Find me a more entertaining tag team. I'll wait. Who's more fun to watch than Pretty Deadly? Who's funnier? Who does better promos than Pretty Deadly? Nobody, John. Nobody. Nobody in the tag team roster is more entertaining than those two guys. And you can tell me all day that they're never going to amount to anything. They'll never be anything. But one day, I believe they will, because cream rises to the top.
Well, I'm not going to bash anyone because when I start doing that, I lose my signal. So, good that you like them, and maybe they'll do something tomorrow and have a song and sing and dance, and some people will like it. I'm not going to look forward to that, but I'm not watching SummerSlam tomorrow live, so it's all right. I can skip it when I see it afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, you won't be with me tomorrow, and I'm pretty disappointed. But
what about Fred? Doesn't Fred watch SummerSlam?
Yeah, I think Fred's gonna watch SummerSlam. I don't think he'll be on the show with me tomorrow, unless maybe we'll make a call to Freddie. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so we have previewed WWE Summerslam, John. We have done it. Oh, no, we didn't predict LA Knight and Logan Paul. I think LA Knight is going to win. Yeah, I think it's time. Like, come on, man. Give him a belt. I know we're predicting Braun Breaker, new Intercontinental Champion, LA Knight, new U.S. Champion, and Gunther, new World Heavyweight Champion. I think for a SummerSlam with all the belts on the line, that's pretty fair. I'm going with LA Knight, new U.S. Champion. What do you think? Is the run of Logan Paul finally over?
I hope so. I hope you're right. But to be different than you, because I feel this could go either way too. I'll go with Logan Paul, just so we have one difference.
Are you saying that just to be different, or do you really believe it?
I mean, I feel this could go either way. So, I mean, LA could win. I could see Logan retain as well, because it is in Cleveland. And sometimes I like to give people in Cleveland the win. We saw that kind of, right? Actually, no, we didn't see it.
No.
We saw Gargano lose, right?
Yeah.
So they got to give it to Cleveland now.
Why?
Because
they hate him in Cleveland.
Regardless, wasn't he the big face of SummerSlam before? Did he have a huge poster for SummerSlam? Didn't he hype SummerSlam when it first came out?
Yeah. So
there's a lot invested into him. I don't agree that he should be champion for over 200 days, only 2 defenses, but this is the world that we live in. This is the world that WWE wants to live in with them. So I can see them keeping this going.
Well, I hope you're wrong, and I'm going to go with LA Knight. Yeah, I think it's about time. It's about time for LA Knight to win some WWE gold. He's going to be the new U.S. champion, and we're going to have more fun on SmackDown because of it. So I'm excited for LA Knight and Logan Paul. I think it's going to be a good match. WWE SummerSlam going down tomorrow night. And we've picked pretty much everybody the same except that match. Johnny going with the champion Logan Paul to retain. I'm going with LA Knight to become the new U.S. champion. Johnny and I both picking CM Punk over Drew McIntyre. Picking Braun Breaker to beat Sami Zayn, become new Intercontinental Champion. Cody Rhodes to retain the WWE Championship over Solo Sikoa. Liv Morgan to retain the WWE Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. Bayley defend the WWE Women's Championship against Nia Jax. And Gunther to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion by defeating Damian Priest. That is SummerSlam 2024 going down tomorrow night in Cleveland, Ohio. Once again, I'll be on with you right after SummerSlam to give you the score on 10, to give you my match of the night, and to talk SummerSlam with everybody here in the Ringside Report Network World Universe. Angelo says he thinks Drew wins tomorrow night. Okay. There you go, Angelo. Thank you.
It's not impossible.
Angelo also think LA Knight is winning the U.S. title.
Again, it could happen.
Rhea thinks, Angelo thinks that Rhea will win the world title tomorrow.
Wow.
Huh.
Again, not impossible.
Antoinette also on the mommy train. Could happen.
I think Rhea just has a lot of fans, and people want to see it happen. I mean, it will happen, just not at SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah. I just don't think it happens tomorrow. I think it happens down the road where Rhea gets the belt back. I think Liv does win tomorrow. I think the moment calls for it. But we will see. We're usually pretty good on these predictions, though, John, right? Usually we line them up pretty nicely.
Well, I think in the end, we're mostly right. Especially with WWE. I mean, they have a few surprises here and there, but for the most part, you can figure how it's going.
Yeah. AEW is a little harder to predict, but WWE has been pretty predictable. I hope we're wrong about a lot of stuff, because then it's more unpredictable. I'm surprised about things, you know? I like to be surprised. WWE doesn't offer me a ton of surprises. It's kind of disappointing. The past few shows from WWE, we predict them, and then we watch them, and they go exactly how we predicted them, and then we come on, and we're like, yeah, went how we thought it would go. It was okay, you know?
Well, you hope SummerSlam there's some surprises. So, I mean, Roman's nice. What else you got?
Yeah, that's it. It's like they're kind of going A to B to C, you know? It's very methodical. It's very kind of simple. And you go, yeah, I want you to go A to B to X, you know? That's a deep reference that only my brother will get. It's a Peep Show reference. You guys watch Peep Show? John doesn't even know what I'm talking about. It's a great TV show. Watch Peep Show. It's great. It's one of my top recommendations for anything. If anybody says, oh, I want to watch something funny, what's really good? I'd say watch Peep Show. It's really good. It's a great show. So, yeah, John doesn't like it. I think I tried to get John to watch it once or twice, and he's like, nah. Right?
Oh, when do I ever watch television? I barely watch television anymore. I just watch wrestling. There's so much wrestling now. That's all you can really need to watch now, because we watch how much wrestling a week all the time? At least 8 hours, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, you're
more.
right. You watch more than I do, I think. You watch Collision and stuff like that. I don't watch Collision, you know? I just don't.
I gotta put over the fact Collision, like, you didn't see Hologram against Mortis? Like, that was a really good match.
Mortis? Mortis is back. Mortis and Wrath.
No, the bull guy with the mask. He was on
Oh, yeah, I
He's
saw
on
him
Dynamite
on
this
Dynamite. Yeah. That bull guy. The hell was that? Dynamite was pretty good this week, though. We had good matches. Will Ospreay, Lance Archer is always a good match. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I would have had that as the main event, though. Like, I thought Darby and Hangman was good, but there was no build to that. Like I felt with Osprey and Archer, like it helps I knew the history a little bit because I saw them in New Japan. But to me, that felt like the bigger match. That should have been the main event, I thought.
Mm. Yeah, you remember that match from the New Japan Cup several years ago that I said, God damn, John, this was crazy. You have to see it?
Yes.
You remember that?
I remember that, yeah. It was great.
Yep. They wrestle very well against each other.
Great chemistry. And again, like, it's a rare kind of match you see, like, just on Dynamite. Like, for opening, I thought it was too good.
What's the deal with Archer? Is he on a per-appearance deal? Because he's never around.
He kind of just shows up, when they have things for him. Like, I feel like he shows up random places, too, so he might only be on that kind of deal.
Because he does NWA, not NWA, Ring of Honor, too, for them, right? So I don't know what his deal is with them.
Random indies, too.
Yeah, right.
Random Japan shots, yeah.
Yeah, strange. But, they brought him in for this match, and it was good. It was a really solid match. Osprey won, of course, and then there was a whole thing with that guy, Kyle Fletcher, because MJF came out and attacked Osprey after the match, and Kyle Fletcher made the save. And Kyle Fletcher cut this promo about MJF, and now they're going to wrestle next week on Dynamite. So MJF versus Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite next week, even though I think the match we all want to see is MJF versus Britt Baker on Dynamite next week. But that was a whole deal, right? I think you didn't want to talk about it, John. I saw something on Twitter where you're like, Britt Baker.
We don't really know everything.
No, there's just a report out from the Wrestling Observer that said that Britt Baker got into some sort of argument. She was saying some things negative about MJF, and MJF's girlfriend was in the locker room with the women and then told MJF what Britt Baker had said about him, and then MJF confronted Britt Baker, and there was some sort of argument, and Britt Baker got suspended by the AEW Disciplinary Committee. She will wrestle the match at Wembley, but she's suspended or has been suspended. I don't know. Britt Baker and MJF apparently don't like each other. And it's led to problems. More drama backstage in AEW, according to the Wrestling Observer. I don't know. It's a story I wasn't expecting, right? Britt Baker beef with MJF. What's the deal with Adam Cole?
Well, see, this can lead to a lot of speculation, right? Because we don't know the whole details. Does this have anything to do with Adam Cole? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. How long has this been building? Because they've been in the same, like, AEW for so long now. Like, now there's beef. I mean, there must have been beef before, you would imagine, or something's been building up. So, like, until all the details come out, it's really hard to comment on something like this. It's just, it feels like someone felt, I'm probably thinking Bryan Danielson, because isn't he the one in charge of this, who decided that,
I think there's a committee, right? He's one of the people. I don't know if he's the head of the committee.
But he's part of it, right? Like you said.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, she got suspended. MJF did not get suspended, so... And they played it into the story, too. But instead of saying that she got legit suspended, they say she got suspended for what happened at the Comic-Con.
Right. Because she attacked Sasha Banks at the Comic-Con?
And they're saying that the EVP... That's what Mercedes said, right? On Dynamite, that the EVP suspended her because of attacking her.
Right.
But actually she's suspended for other reasons that we find out now.
Weird. I wonder what the issue is.
I mean, clearly something said that was very inappropriate. It should have been said, and apparently MJF punched a wall or something, so that's something obviously terrible, not good, if MJF's doing that. And then apparently he goes out and has his match against Osprey. Apparently that's when it happened.
I thought it happened after the match.
Well, again, is this accurate or not? I don't know. The report I read that it was right before his match.
Okay. Hard to tell, right? Where's the video footage?
Exactly.
Send me the audio transcript of what Britt Baker said in the women's locker room. I don't know.
I mean, we can speculate all we want, but I mean, I think the story's going to come out eventually because stories like these always do. So I think it's best to be patient, wait, and then you can really talk about it because we don't know everything yet, sadly.
Mm-hmm. Hangman and Darby, though, I thought was very good in the main event of Dynamite. Hangman Page, Darby Allin. I mean, come on. How can you go wrong?
I just felt like, again, like it's a good match. I mean, again, if Darby's on television, you should always watch. I mean, he's on Collision tomorrow, so I'm not going to see Collision, but I want to watch it after the fact because I know he's on Collision. Because Darby, you have to watch Darby whenever he's wrestling because you never know when he's going to do something crazy, like we saw in the main event of Dynamite. But I felt like this match with Hangman, like, what does it lead to? What was the point of this? Like, Darby has a TNT title shot. He's got a world title shot. I mean, he's got a bunch of shots, but Hangman not really doing anything. I mean, it's a battle of two good wrestlers. It's a match that's very fun to watch. But what does it do in the grand scheme of things? What did it do for All In?
I think it's going to lead to the rematch in New York in September between Darby and the world champion, or the match, being Darby and the world champion, being a rematch, Hangman and Darby. I think Hangman, when we get to that point in September, will be the AEW world champion.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're thinking Hangman wins the title at All Out then?
Correct.
It's a huge turnaround.
I think it makes a ton of sense. Hangman couldn't beat Swerve. Swerve couldn't beat Danielson. But Hangman could beat Danielson. Danielson's winning it All In. Danielson said if he doesn't beat Swerve, he's never wrestling again. Bro. He's wrestling again. He's beaten Swerve. He's becoming the AEW World Champion. He goddamn well better. Then he drops the belt like 2-3 weeks later at the next show, All Out, to Hangman. Then Hangman's champion, and Swerve is like super pissed because Swerve dropped the belt. He loses it to Danielson. And then Hangman all of a sudden has the belt, and Swerve's like, I need a shot. And Hangman's like, no. I'm going to give Darby a shot, or get in line, or, you got to work your way up, all this kind of stuff. And that'll, and then eventually you build to Swerve Hangman again. I don't think Danielson needs a long reign with the belt. I think, just give him a night. Give him a night where he's champion, where we can celebrate Bryan Danielson as the AEW World Champion. Give him a few weeks as the World Champion. And then drop it to the hanger. Because the main character in AEW is Hangman Page. The whole show is about him, always has been, and, it will be until he's no longer in his prime. Hangman is the main guy in AEW. Show should revolve around him. Has mostly revolved around him if you're paying attention. So, I think Hangman takes the belt right back. It would be a great wrinkle in the whole Swerve story. It would be a great reason why Darby stole the victory with a roll-up on Hangman. It's like, ooh, damn. Hangman lost. What the hell? Well, Hangman lost because he's going to beat Darby when the title's on the line and he gets to defend his title in New York in the rematch. I think that's where we're going. When Darby won, I went, oh, maybe we're going here. As soon as Darby won, I was like, why did Darby win? And then I thought, oh, maybe because he's going to get a world title shot against Hangman. So, I think that's where we're going. I think that's where we should be going to. I like that. I think Hangman should be the world champion again soon. I think Danielson should be the champion at some point for some time, but it doesn't have to be a long run. The turnaround between All In and All Out, I think, is perfect. Transitional champion between Swerve and Hangman is great, too, for Danielson because the history between Swerve and Hangman. Works for me.
Yeah, it works for you. I will see how it all works out in the end. I mean, again, there's how you want things to go, and then there's how things go in AEW. So we'll see how it all works out. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that have to happen for that to actually happen, like you say. wait and see. We don't know what Hangman's doing at All In yet, right? So let's wait and see.
Yeah. But doesn't that all kind of line up? Wouldn't that make a lot of sense for everybody involved?
I feel it makes more sense to have Hangman actually beat Swerve for the title in the end. Like, I feel like he should be the one to end the reign, not Danielson. But like you said, Danielson's in a tough spot now where he put his career on the line. It's career versus title now at All In. So is this really it for Danielson? I mean, maybe it should be, because, like, if he keeps saying, like, he can't wrestle till All In, why are we holding out for him so much? Like, maybe it's best to end at the biggest stage like they could possibly give him.
He's not retiring.
Well, he's done full-time wrestling. That's what he said. He said he's not going to wrestle full-time anymore.
Yeah.
So.
But he said if he doesn't win the title, he's not wrestling ever again. And that's not his plan. We know that's not going to happen. So, I think he wins. You don't think he's winning the belt? You think he's going to lose and then what, never wrestle again?
How many times have we seen wrestlers say, like, oh, this is my last match, I'll never wrestle again? I mean, and look what's happened so many times. They end up wrestling again. So, he says that. Doesn't mean he holds up to it.
I believe in Bryan Danielson. I trust in Bryan Danielson. I hope he finally wins the AEW World title.
I'm interested to see what happens with him and Jeff Jarrett, because he's challenged Jeff Jarrett to a match next week. And it seems like he's all fired up and he's going to go all crazy on Jeff Jarrett. So let's see what kind of Danielson we get next week on Dynamite.
Yeah, what's that about? Danielson and Jeff Jarrett.
Well, Jarrett's like his motivation, isn't he? Like, he's trying to push him, you know? He's trying to tell him, like, hey, like, you want this, but it doesn't sound like you want this. It sounds like you just want to actually leave. So he's kind of pushing him.
Yeah, but so why is Danielson wanting a match with him? Like, he's kind of... Jarrett's like giving him pep talks and everything. Then Brian's like, I'm going to wrestle you, show you how mean I am. It's like, whoa, take it easy. I was rooting for you, dude.
Like, yeah, that was Jarrett's intention, and I see that. But this is Danielson's way of being like, you want me to prove myself? I'll prove myself against you. I'll show you in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty mean and rough what Danielson's going to do to Jeff Jarrett. I think it might be worse than what Hangman did to him. I liked Mariah May's promo on Toni Storm. I like Toni Storm coming out and yelling, going crazy. I think the build between these two has been fantastic. That match is going to be massive. Everything they're doing every single week, I see what they do. They're doing their promos, they're building it up, and it's been very solid from both of them. You know, they're both doing excellent work. I'm just a huge fan of both of them. I think they're fantastic. And I thought their promos were great.
Well, I think Toni Storm has pushed herself ahead of the pack in a sense. Like, to me, she's the top female wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah.
We can say that's arguable, and, like, maybe it's not true. Like, I have a hard time believing it's not true now. And, like, Mariah May, this has been building for so long. To happen at the biggest stage that they have, it just feels like everything's coming together so well.
Mm-hmm. And Mariah May is an incredible talent, too. AEW really found something, right? Like, they landed a hell of a talent there with Mariah May. She's very good. Because you're seeing the different aspects of her character, you know, the different levels that she's able to get to. She's got depth. She's got a lot of range, right? She could be this kind of, you know, babyface friend of Toni Storm, and then she could be this evil character that she's doing right now, and you're like, oh, okay, there's a whole different side of you now. In the ring, she's very good. I mean, there's a lot of upside to Mariah May. And the more you see of her, the more you go, wow, like, there's nothing wrong with her. There's, like you watch a wrestler, you see them once or twice, you're like, oh, they're pretty good. Let's see more. And then the more you see of them, you go, okay, there's no flaws here. What are Mariah May's flaws? What does she do badly? I think she's great on the mic. She's great in the ring. Like, she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world today. I think she's top 5.
I think she's up there. I think Tony's a bit better just because I feel her character's more defined.
Yep.
Where Mariah's been kind of all over the place, which is not bad. But it's just like, okay, it's a different thing now. We'll go in a different direction. I mean, it's fun. It's good. It works for what we have now. But I feel Tony, it's just, there's more experience that we have with that, longevity. We're more used to it, more adapt to it. This new Mariah May is different. We'll see how that evolves over time. But it's, going in the right direction. And it's hard to say who's going to win this match. I feel it's more Tony right now. But it could go to Mariah.
I think it's going to Mariah. If anybody's going to beat Tony, it's got to be her. And Mariah is British, and they're in England. I think she's going to win.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I think Mercedes Moné is going to beat Britt Baker, too.
Well, because of the suspension now?
Not just the suspension, but also she's got muscle. She's got big Camille in her corner, and that's going to help. Britt Baker doesn't have anybody in her corner anymore. She used to have what's-her-face and the other one, and now they're both gone.
Jamie Hayter and Rebel.
There you go. See, they've been gone so long I forgot their names.
But that's it. They made their comeback at All In and help her. I could see that.
Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think Mercedes will retain. And Camille had a squash match this week, and then Mercedes cut a promo. Was what it was.
I mean, I didn't think that match was much of it was a squash match, and I wasn't a big fan of, I think it was Statlander and Willow in that Eliminator match.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them wrestle before. Like, they're trying, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't click with them. I don't know if they get lost or something, but it feels like we get lost watching them because, like, what are they doing sometimes in that ring? I feel like they don't know.
Finish was all right, though. The cheating finish there with the chain, I thought they pulled that off well. With Statlander hitting Willow with the chain, Stokely helping out there. I thought it was well executed, at least.
Yeah, that was fine. The finish was fine. I understood it. It made sense. It's just to get there. It's like, I got to go over here. I got to pull you here, and then I'm going to pull you underneath the ropes here, and we're going to brawl a little bit, and then we're going to go over here. And it's like, nothing's really happening. You're just like going back and forth and doing a bunch of shots. Some shots look good, some shots look bad. Like, what's going on? And I feel like they got tired because Statlander likes to throw her opponents around a lot, and it's hard for her to throw Willow around. So I think maybe she got blown up a bit and maybe got a bit lost in the process. I just felt the match was very disjointed at times.
Yeah. Wasn't my favorite match. And then the other match, there was like a 6-man tag on that one, too. Bunch of people.
It wasn't bad because it was a bunch of spots here and there. I mean, that was just a typical 6-man tag.
Yeah. It was Mortos, Roderick Strong, and Roosh against Tomohiro Ishii, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe. It was just, like, they all come out. Half of them you go, who is that? And then you go, why are they together? You don't really understand. Like, okay, Roderick, okay, Roosh, I know him. Mortos, right. I go, who the hell is this guy? He's got a mask. I guess he's Mexican. I guess they're pairing him with Roosh. Why is Roderick Strong with these guys? Why?
Well, because he's feuding with Briscoe and Orange Cassidy.
Doesn't Roderick Strong have friends?
They were on the outside, weren't they?
Yeah, but how come they're not in the match? Why does he got Roosh and the Beast Mortos?
Because that's on Collision, I think.
It's dumb shit.
Well, I'm just saying that's what they're doing.
And then you got Ishii, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe. Why are they together? There's nothing that seems to unite them. I don't understand.
They're a faction, actually.
Since when?
Since a couple weeks ago. Again, you don't watch Collision, so you're not up to date on that stuff. So you're kind of lost. But yeah, they're a group together with Kyle O'Reilly too.
Why?
Because I guess a lot of people broke up with them or something, so they all came together, united front. So.
Right. So they're just mismatched people that are going to group together? It's the audience.
Exactly. I guess you could say that. It's interesting with Ishii there.
Call the Insane Clown Posse, brother. It's time for the oddities. Huh?
I don't think ICP would work in AW, but that'd be fun because they've been in almost every federation, major federation ICP.
Yeah.
WWF, WCW, ECW, TNA.
Yeah.
I mean,
they should be in AEW just to complete it.
Yeah.
Can they still work? I mean, they're old. Can they still wrestle?
I think Shaggy still wrestles, but I don't know because I think Shaggy's doing NWA, and there's another one they've done. Yeah,
they're never finished. The Insane Clown Posse will wrestle forever, and so will Johnny North. When can people see you next?
It's actually going to be in a couple hours in Kahnawake at the Knights of Columbus Hall in Kahnawake. You have to check that out. Apparently, there's no address to it because they don't have addresses there. But if you search up the Knights of Columbus in Kahnawake, that's where it's going to be at. And I believe bell time's at 6 p.m. And tickets are $25, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. Go watch Johnny North tomorrow night. How about it? Or watch me. Or do both. Go see Johnny North wrestle and then watch me on YouTube right after for the WWE SummerSlam post show, right? That's the move.
That sounds good. Yeah.
That's the move. There we go.
Was there other craziness in wrestling that we missed? I'm sure there's other craziness.
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. I'll be back tomorrow night after SummerSlam to recap all the action here on the Ringside Report Network. I don't think there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else left to do here. I'm seeing I'm seeing AJ talking a lot. Like, I'm seeing stuff in the chat, but I can't really, like, maybe there's some people that are commenting on stuff about the show and have legit, like, questions, but there's so much AJ nonsense in the chat that I can't really tell what's what. A lot of it is just about pizza and just AJ talking shit. He's kind of polluting the chat because, it'd be good if I could, make sense of some of it and see maybe there were some wrestling questions that people had for us, but it's just a lot of AJ nonsense. Yankees had won 5 in a row, but they dropped a game tonight, 8-5 to the Blue Jays. Game just ended. Thank you, Angelo, for asking.
That's karma. What comes around is all around for you. Because you kind of dissed the Blue Jays last night, so.
They do suck.
Well, clearly not tonight. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Red Sox won too, so a bit more closer.
You say that, but could we take a look at the actual numbers and how close you are, John? Because I don't know. Ooh, Blake Snell threw a no-hitter tonight.
Wow.
Blake Snell for the San Francisco Giants threw a no-hitter against the Cincinnati Reds tonight. Nice.
When was the last time there was a no-hitter? I feel like it's been so long.
It is the third no-hitter of 2024.
I can't remember any other no-hitters, though. Maybe I guess
third no-hitter of the season. People have hit. It's the third no-hitter of the season.
Is it all in the National League or?
Ronel Blanco of the American League's Houston Astros no-hit the Toronto Blue Jays on the 1st of April. And Dylan Cease for the Padres no-hit the Nationals on July 25th, like a week or two ago. It was a no-hitter. So it happens pretty often. I guess 3 times this season already.
3 times a season. Yeah. Well, yes and no.
I mean, it's kind of hard to pull off. Your Red Sox, John, they are 5.5 back of the Yankees and Orioles, who are tied right now for the lead in the AL East. So 5.5 back, John. Not
bad.
Close,
not
but
bad
not,
at all.
The Yankees did take 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox at Fenway, which hurt the Red Sox chances. If the Red Sox had won more of those games, they would have been closer to the Yankees, but they lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees in their home ballpark. It's got to sting.
Well, I got to blame a lot of the Yankee fans for causing a disturbance and causing a distraction. I think if that didn't happen, I think people would have been on the ball with that one.
Wow. So you're saying that the Red Sox players are so easily distracted by things happening in the crowd that they can't keep their focus and win baseball games. That's a pretty sad state of affairs right there in Boston. Sad state of affairs.
What happened with the Yankees there? Like, I thought the Blue Jays were terrible, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, they are. They have a pretty bad record. They're the Blue Jays are behind not only the Rays, but also the Red Sox. They are in last place in the AL East with a record under 500. They're 13.5 back of the lead. So the Blue Jays are bad, but, baseball, the Blue Jays still have 51 wins, 59 losses, but, you're going to win some once in a while. It's a 162-game season. You can't win them all if you're the Yankees. They have won 65 and lost only 46, which is pretty good. Pretty good. It's better than a record of 58-50, which is the Red Sox record. So, the Blue Jays aren't great, but once in a while they'll score a win. It was Marcus Stroman's worst start of the season. He had a bad game. Things happen. Back at it tomorrow. Pretty confident the Yankees will pick up a win tomorrow. Who's on the hill for the Yankees tomorrow? Who are the Yankees throwing out there? Carlos Rodon. Rodon will get the win for us. It'll be all right. First pitch, 1:05 tomorrow afternoon in the Bronx. Yankees are favored right now, -180 to win. So I'm confident.
I'm sure they were favored tonight too, but it didn't really work out too well.
Talking a lot of shit for your team that's in fucking third place. It's weird.
Well, they're doing quite well, though, I would say. Like, they're still in a wild card spot, so I'm not too worried. Like, again, you just got to make the playoffs. I mean, in the end, does it really matter about your record as long as you're in the postseason?
Yeah. Antoinette wants a get-together. I mean, I don't know. If it's anything like the chat, I want no part of it, to be quite honest. So, I don't know. It says member meetup at Dave's. That's not happening. That's so far from happening, you can't even understand.
Believe it or not, Dave's place is not that big, too. It's kind of small.
I mean, all right. I don't want.
I'm just saying, like, you go, exactly. I don't think you can hold that many.
I mean, I could, but I just.
Oof.
It's just not happening, John. All right? Let's just fucking leave it at that. How about that?
Jeez. That's better, actually. Yeah, sure.
Jeez. All right. We're wrapping up. Angela says Survivor Series is in Vancouver. Surprises me because, to me, Vancouver is not a hot wrestling town. But, okay. Right?
Good for them, though. They got something finally. When did they get I think Rock Bottom? They had a pay-per-view, right? When was Rock Bottom? Like in 98? So it's been a while.
Fucking AJ. I swear, like, I'm going to ban him from the chat and maybe kick him off the show. Like, who knows, man? This guy, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous, man. Yeah, good for Vancouver. It's really gone, like, it's further and further off the deep end for AJ. Like, I'm starting to worry. Because, like, progressively, exponentially, he's getting worse. Something's wrong. Something's not right.
We all go through tough times. Maybe he's going through a tough time.
Yeah, I guess. AJ says he's going to get a get-together at Dave's, and we'll keep you posted. That's not going to happen. And AJ, you wouldn't even be invited. Let me tell you. You're the first not on the list to come. AJ's banned. AJ is banned. Until UFC 305. Then he can come for that. But then after that, banned again. I ban AJ periodically. Yeah, AJ will let you down once again, as he always does. Okay. Thank you, and good night. We're done. Shout out to Angelo and Antoinette for gifting the memberships. Much appreciated. Thank you for everybody supporting. Over at join.ringsidereport.net, all the members, Antoinette, Angelo, Jimmy James. Who else did I see? Leor. There's a real member right there. He says, give Daniel Bryan all the titles, please. That is a great statement, Leor. Fantastic.
I just remember something.
Leor is one of my favorites, always saying the right things in the chat. Franco316 as well says, AJ, stop your shenanigans. So shout out to all of you in the chat supporting the show. And Angelo says, have a great weekend, everybody. There you go. 42 months as a member. Thank you, Angelo, for sticking with us. What's up, John?
Just one thing to mention: the fact that Jesse Ventura was on Raw this week for a little brief appearance.
Yep, it was in St. Paul, Minnesota, the capital. So, former governor showed up.
It was nice that he was talking to people. Like, I don't know if you saw, he was talking to CM Punk afterwards. Mm-hmm. Kind of nice that he was talking to people, and I would hope, fingers crossed, that they can work out a deal that they have Jesse Ventura back in WWE. I think that would be a huge move to make, and I don't know about you, I'd be far more intrigued to watch Raw if we had Jesse Ventura every week.
In what capacity?
Well, Pat McAfee's like leaving Raw. I don't know if you know about this.
No.
Yeah, apparently he's got a new gig, I think.
You're talking about commentary?
Yeah.
That would be nuts. That's not happening. No way is Jesse the Body Ventura going back to commentary. I don't think it would work. No.
It'd be weird, I know. It'd be weird, but I would love to see it at least once.
Honestly, I think if you're going to have Jesse Ventura involved in WWE often, weekly basis type of thing, I would have him as like the new Adam Pearce, the authority figure. I think he'd be great.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
I think that would work. Commands respect, former governor, badass, Navy SEAL, all of that, I think that'd be good. All right, so we'll see. We will see what they do with Jesse the Body, but it was nice to see him in Minnesota. Jesse the Body Ventura. Okay, guys. Thank you. I'll be back here tomorrow night after SummerSlam, rolling solo again, which is just ridiculous, man. Everybody on the team just like letting Dave down here. AJ, Fred, Johnny, my brother, everybody letting me down.
I'm not letting you down. I'm wrestling. I know. I have
you're actually, you get a pass. You're not letting me down. My brother's letting me down. AJ and Fred let me down. But Fred's
Isn't
off
the
so
next,
often, It's mostly AJ that let me down. AJ just disappointing.
Is the next PLE? I feel the next PLE as well. Is it not like August 31st next PLE?
Bosch in Berlin, August 31st.
Yeah, I'm wrestling on that day too as well. So I'm in Ontario. So
you're off there too.
So yeah.
Well, I'll probably have my brother for that one, unless he's at another music festival. This guy at Osheaga this weekend, seeing all the bands.
I mean, I understand, like, Rancid, Green Day. It's a pretty good lineup.
Is it?
I don't know if you're big. I know you're aware of Green Day. I don't know if you're a big fan of Rancid or not. Or
no, I'm not.
Yeah, you don't like Ruby Soho so much. I understand.
No, I'm not a big Rancid fan. I'm not a big Green Day fan. Oh, the Smashing Pumpkins are playing tomorrow night. I would see them. I like them. T-Pain is playing tomorrow. That would be cool to see. T-Pain and Smashing Pumpkins, I guess, tomorrow night. I'm looking at the lineup for tonight, what my brother's seeing. I don't know what any of these things are. Who is Teddy Swims?
Oh, I have no idea.
The main people for Osheaga tonight, like the headlining acts, are Teddy Swims, Skepta, Lil TJ, Melanie Martinez, and Noah Kahan. Like, I know the headliner tomorrow is Green Day. I know the headliner Sunday is SZA. I know who those people are. I don't know Noah Kahan or Melanie Martinez. I don't know any of these people. I don't know any of these people. On this day one, this Friday night, Osheaga, because it's like all weekend, I'm looking at the lineup right now. I got no clue who any of these people are. I'm officially an old man. I'm Grandpa Simpson. I'm Homer Simpson. No, I'm Homer. You know? It's like the old warning that Grandpa gives him. I'm telling you. It's not weird and scary to me. You know? What's in isn't weird and scary to me. I just go, I don't know what the hell this is. Maybe it's good. You know, I'm just unaware of it. I might like some of this music. Maybe Lil TJ is fantastic, but I don't know who any of those people are. No fucking clue.
So you're more Randy Marsh then, I guess. It's probably going to sound like crap, but you'll like it anyways.
I might like it.
There you go, Randy Marsh.
If I got enough integrity, I'll like anything, John. You know what I mean? Me and my boy Tally, we're going to have a good time. Okay? Enough integrity, you feel good. Integrity.
It's got to come down with that white integrity, I guess.
Never. The white liquor, brother. All right. Okay. You know I don't mess with the white liquor. I'm no Jim Leahy over here. Okay, guys, I'll be back tomorrow after SummerSlam. Shout out to Angelo dropping a super chat. Where in Ontario, Antoinette wants to know? Sudbury?
I believe it's... No, not Sudbury. Petawawa.
Petawawa. Cool.
Yeah.
August 31st, cast Johnny in Petawawa, Ontario, if you're in the area. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow after SummerSlam right here on the Ringside Report Network. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again.